Welcome to RPG Direct, a celebration of indie RPGs. I'm the Dungeon Master on this quest, where you'll encounter over 50 of the newest and upcoming RPGs of 2025, and venture over to our pages on Steam and itch.io after the show to support every game you'll see today by wishlisting or following them. Are you ready? Then, let's go! Remember, if you see anything you like, find all these games on our Steam and itch.io pages. Get ready for a whole bunch more.
imaginação nos leva, com a coragem tudo podemos conseguir. Sinta as emoções que passam por tantas gerações, há muitas lendas que iremos descobrir. No universo desconhecido, um brilho intenso a nos guiar, na rica fauna e vasta terra iremos lá. Um sonho que se desfez, poderemos juntos sim retomar. A jornada começou na imensidão do céu azul, e um passo de cada vez poderemos juntos sim avançar. A jornada começou na Bagtex, um mundo novo a explorar.
We're halfway through now. How's it going? Hey, wait. What are you...
Fangamer is proud to sponsor this year's RPG Direct.
RPGs are in our DNA, and in fact, this is StarMod.net's 25th anniversary.
From Earthbound to Undertale to Off, we're proud to be part of the RPG community. Please check out Off on Nintendo Switch and Steam.
Mr. Harrow, can you hear me? We've got a long road ahead of us. Here in Rue Valley, time stands still, giving you an opportunity to reflect. Amid this calm, your motivation may find its second wind. You've been through a lot lately. May I ask, how is your sleep these days? These are tough emotions. You should know that there's nothing wrong with feeling them and that they will eventually pass. See you tomorrow, Mr. Harrow.
Introducing Detective Patch, the best game you'll ever play! Hazelnut Plaza, the perfect tourist destination. The best place to just relax, see a couple shops, and solve a mystery! Something sinister is brewing under this seemingly peaceful plaza. The mayor's precious ruby has been stolen by a devious evildoer. It's your job as a detective to piece together clues and find out who did this crime. But it won't be so easy. As a detective, you are sure to come across a multitude of people who aren't too keen on you meddling in their affairs. You'll butt heads with angry locals, cult members, and is that a flying trash can? In situations such as these, you'll have to exercise your fighting prowess in battle. In battle, you can deal with enemies the normal way by fighting, or you could try interrogating them to get special information about the case. Not everything in this plaza is doom and gloom. There's so many new people to meet, so why not say hi to just a random person or someone who may be important? Will Detective Patch ever find out who committed this crime, or is he in way over his head? Find out when you play...
There's a spectre haunting the fiefdom of London Stock. He's waiting for you to feast on each other before it blooms in a dazzling explosion. This is your last day, Weald, and I am sorry for that.
Yeah. Wish city where everyone gets busy, cause minimum wage here is something like $6.50. Crime running rampant, paper changing hands like pamphlets. Government can't seem to understand it. They call us a town without a future. It's full of shooters and alcohol abusers, fools spreading rumors, boosters and looters. You can make friends here or make maneuvers, and if you choose the latter, you'll make it up the ladder. But you better get away before your dome gets splattered. Everybody got a plan till they get punched in the mouth. When the drama's right in front of them, they run in the house. Make a wish. Everybody taking sips of the devil's nectar with the sin on their lips. Got the nerve to wanna kiss. You ain't never seen a town more desolate than this. Yeah. Need help, police is getting busier. You better call up my familiar, cause these streets is getting grittier, and they about to tear the whole city up. F-A-M-I-L-I-A-R, yeah, they know who we are, yeah.
You were there when it happened, when Alex became the Onism Man, when he tried to untwist the good from the bad and failed. I was there too. In fact, I think it was my fault.
The Onism Man is coming. Take the sword from the chapel.
And kill Onism Man.
Kill Onism Man. He has to die.
Take this blade. Save the Onism Man.
Are you the Onism Man?
He has to die.
Save Onism Man.
He has to die.
Save Onism Man.
But the question is not a thesis. What are we to do with the Onism Man? Sorry, not become him.
It was then point fucking shoot.
Oh, is it the end? Thank you for joining us on this quest. Be sure to take a look at all the games you saw here on Steam and itch.io after the show. Support these developers with a wish list or a follow and try their demos too. Thank you to Fangamer and Off for sponsoring this year's event. See you again next year for RPG Direct.